For the first 6.5 years of my daughter's life, I was recovering from her birth and trying to put the pieces of my physical, emotional, sexual, and spiritual selves into some kind of recognizable order. When my daughter was 9 months old, I became a single mom. I was teaching yoga full-time and giving bodywork sessions, all the while trying to understand why I was in so much pain. The practices I was teaching and had relied upon as my own therapy and spiritual anchors for over a decade weren't working in my postpartum reality. I was exhausted by the output and physicality of it all, and because I was mothering in Brazil, far away from my family and my roots, I didn't have anything close to the support I needed. Being a single parent feels like operating from a deficit, but most mothers I know have feelings of inadequacy regardless of their partnership status. We're stretched like never before between our work, our creative life, our mothering life, and our relationships. It feels like we're never doing enough. It was during this time of feeling unmoored as a mother that I was introduced to Tami's writing and to the profoundly loving and generous medicine she holds. Wild Feminine and Mothering from Your Center tumbled into my life one after the other, filled with lightning bolt revelations that felt as though they were written for me. I gained a new vocabulary, a map, and a clear-eyed guide through this overwhelming territory. That is what's inside this book, like a cool shower on the hottest day of summer, a cascade of relief from the formulas and cheerleading, the disembodied, medicalized approach to women's health and wellness. This is a parenting book that I realized I could actually read, wonderfully different from the usual fare focused on styles of parenting and the infantilizing tips and tricks that make up so many parenting books. I couldn't get enough. Upon finishing the books, I wrote to 5 friends to tell them to get the books so we could work through the practices together. Tami writes like the attuned, encouraging mother that she is. Her motherhood deeply informs her work as a pioneer in the field of women's health. She is a fierce defender of mothers and of the feminine. So much of what she has brought into conscious awareness through her books and teaching is fundamental to the zeitgeist of women reclaiming our bodies, cycles, and reproductive health in a culture that does not center us or our experiences. It's hard to properly describe how revolutionary her books were when they first came out and the massive cultural shifts they continue to perpetuate. We all come to mothering differently, by surprise, charted, easily, unplanned, through adoption, through intense fertility journeys, while in long-term relationships, from one-night stands, through the help of technology or generosity. Tami and I have had very different mothering paths. She's married and has 3 sons. She's lived in 2 houses while mothering for over 25 years. I'm a single mother to 1 daughter. We've lived in over 10 apartments in 3 countries over the last 16 years. Just as you, listening to this book, have your own mothering path, your own particularities. The magic of this book is that it is for all mothers, regardless of our circumstances, who want to live an engaged and embodied life, and who understand that the challenges of mothering are grist for the spiritual mill. What Tami has created here is nothing short of a Bible for us. Wild Mothering elevates mothering to its rightful place as the axis of culture, requiring proper due and respect and refusing to accept the invisibility and the unrecognized labor of mothers that is all too common. It is a book full of loving guidance that is practical and wise, one which doesn't just tell us to follow our intuition, but centers our capacity and gives us clear instructions on how to develop our intuition as an essential skill. When we don't know what advice to take or where to turn, this book calls us home to the truest voice, the one inside ourselves. This is the terrain of the wild feminine.